Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is August 6th, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see California is here. We got Baja, Mexico is there. Check out this nice complex of storms that came off some of the higher terrain in Mexico yesterday, moving across Baja right now and weakening. But look down here, we've got tropical storm Eugene. It may briefly become a hurricane here, and some of these remnants are supposed to move up and kind of take a turn towards the right here and bring an increase of moisture across some of Southern California. We'll take a look at those details. We could even bring some thunderstorm activity with that moisture surge into the area. This is looking out towards Hawaii. This is Hurricane Dora. Check out that nice eye on that hurricane out there. And this is actually the track that can bring some threat to the Hawaiian Islands. It shouldn't be a big deal this round, but as you get later into the season, these tropical storms and hurricanes can turn northwards quite rapidly here. So when you get a strong storm down here, it stays in the warmer water, and it can remain. They can remain strong as they go south of the Hawaiian Islands here and turn back north. That's what Hurricane Iniki did in 1992, and some other notable tropical systems in the past have taken that route. If they're a little bit further north, they're in a little bit cooler water, and they weaken, or they tend to weaken a bit more here. So kind of interesting stuff there on the mid-level water vapor loop. This is looking here at the infrared loop here, and you can kind of see how the Catalina eddy works. You can even see some of the eddies here off some of the islands as we speak. Some of the stronger winds come down the coastline there, and you get a bit of a void here. You get kind of this counterclockwise rotation, and you can see the low clouds bubbling around. It can throw some of this marine layer inland a bit here, and it can pull it back out and back and forth. You guys know the drill if you're along the coastline there in Southern California. So that's the Catalina eddy at work here. That'll probably be going on for the next couple of days. This is looking at the visibility mile on the NAM 3KM. You can see that flow coming down, and then the relative lull here across some of the Catalina Islands, Southern California coastline there, and the Catalina eddy bouncing those low visibilities back and forth across the coastline of Southern California. So just kind of interesting stuff there. Now, taking a look here at this day in Southern Cal weather history, again, the severe thunderstorms dealing with some of the monsoon moisture here at this time of year, 1990, 2015 here, an EF1 tornado even in Coachella Valley out there during the evening. Yeah, 140 down wooden and steel power poles. Interesting stuff there across San Diego, California. National Weather Service always with good information here. And we might be dealing with a little bit of this moisture here from Tropical Storm Eugene as it moves back across the region. We'll take a look at that here more in a moment. This is Phoenix, Arizona. Dangerous heat. Temperatures will reach levels that pose a major heat risk this weekend across the lower deserts there, and near record high temperatures of 110 to 114 Sunday through Monday. So watch out for that. You guys know the drill. You're experts at beating the heat by now. And there is a little bit of a chance for some of the thunderstorm activity to return to some southern Arizona portions. So we'll look at that in a little bit of detail as well. 120 degrees in Death Valley, the warmest in the lower 48. And I didn't do a video yesterday, but Phoenix, Arizona, I think was 115, and that was actually the highest temperature in the lower 48. Did beat Death Valley yesterday. Interesting stuff there. And this is Hurricane Eugene briefly, then turns back to tropical storm, tropical depression, and you can see that right turn here. That's what the European and the GFS are showing as well. The National Weather Service is on board with that, but this is going to definitely be a weakening system. The moisture is the main threat across some of the higher terrain in California, bringing some thunderstorm activity and even showing a little bit of precip for Los Angeles, maybe even a couple of the coastal regions as well. This is looking at the GFS ensemble, and you can kind of see that turn to the right here, but it's definitely going to be a weakening system. By the time it gets going, past 120 west, it'll be very weak, and then just that moisture surge across the area. And this is looking at that weakening trend here. Maybe a Category 1 hurricane as you go through the morning hours of today or into the afternoon today, and then rapidly dropping off. This is the same thing there, NAM 3KM. Taking a look at the precipitable water, this is kind of interesting here. You can kind of see the increase across San Diego up into Southern California as the remnants of Eugene, or Tropical Storm Eugene at first, and then the remnants start to make their way towards California. You can clearly see that slug of moisture there in the precipitable water here. It's trying to move towards Southern California here. So interesting stuff here. We'll be watching this closely, and I'll do another video tomorrow, and we'll talk about this and update, some of these forecasts here for you. But this is looking at the cross section for relative humidity. Los Angeles, California, you can see kind of the marine layer hanging out here, and it's some nice dry air aloft. But then you can clearly see the slug of moisture arriving here as we go on in through the day, Tuesday into Wednesday. San Diego, something similar here. Moisture will be arriving a little bit earlier there, marine layer, and then that slug of moisture as it comes across the area. This is also looking at the European and the GFS. You can see we got Baja here. Here's California. There's the Hawaiian Islands to the bottom left, and you can see Hurricane Dora here. It would be Hurricane Eugene briefly, and there goes that tropical system kind of rolling up there. Both models have that right turn, bringing that moisture towards Southern California there, so something interesting to watch over the next few days. Here we're looking at a little bit longer range forecast here. European ensemble mean. You can see the ridge bringing the warm temperatures across portions of Arizona here, kind of shutting down that monsoon a little bit here. We kind of leave this troughing around here as we go through midweek, keeping things relatively seasonable across some of the area of California. We'll look at those temperatures here in a moment. You can kind of see those lower heights hanging around as we go through the extended forecast. But then we start to build this ridge. It potentially could be an impact in the Pacific Northwest and even showing some stronger ridge potential here through the extended forecast. Take it with a grain of salt. It's just something to keep in the back of your mind at this point. 12-hour precipitation total here. California, Nevada, Arizona. Put this into motion. You can see some thunderstorm activity over the next couple of days for portions of Arizona. Check this out, though. There's that slug of moisture associated with Eugene starts to come across some of the higher terrain of Southern California. And as you go through Wednesday, look at that. Even some of the coastal regions here are showing some thunderstorm potential with this system as it moves up and across Southern and Central California here. So, yeah, definitely something to watch tomorrow. The NAM will be in a little bit better range here as well, and we'll watch this over the next couple of days and see what kind of precipitation totals trend out of this system. Here we're looking at 80-meter wind speed, just kind of showing you that you're going to get some stronger winds here as you go through Sunday night. You can kind of see this, this sea breeze gradient here basically as you go across some of the higher terrain into the deserts there. Some gusty afternoon winds possible, and even a little bit stronger here maybe as you go on in through Monday as well. Just a heads up for that. Nothing too crazy. This is looking at Phoenix. Check out these temperatures bumping around 110 degrees here for the next several days, and then even a little bit warmer here, maybe with that ridge as we get towards mid-August. Purely fantasy at this point, but you can see the overnight lows above that average temperature of about 82 for this time of year as well. Bakersfield, California, you can see a little bit of that troughing hanging around here as we go through mid and later this week with potential bump off into the extended. A few warm days here, though, before we can get to that those seasonable temperatures here midweek. Here we go. Thunderstorm outlook. You can see this just getting in towards Tucson, some of southern Arizona here, and this would be the following day. And then I expect that maybe this will be extended out towards Southern California here as we go on in through Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll continue to watch that, of course, very closely as we go. That would be day 3 right now, but it may be extended further off to the west. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. You can see kind of the west still above average, some of the south, and the east coast warming back up through the extended also. 8 to 14 day. Again, the west coast looks like it will be favored here as we could get a significant ridge building, but something still off in fantasy land as of right now. 6 to 10 day precipitation probability outlook. You can see kind of the suppression here as we go through mid-August, and this is the 8 to 14 day as well. Take that with a grain of salt. Not too worried about that right now. This is Los Angeles, California, though. Look at the control run, about 1/10 of an inch here as we go through August 9th coming up, just a few days away with that slug of moisture. It does show a little bit of precipitation in some of the ensemble runs and the control run here, so it's definitely something to watch. Check out Big Bear City. Better chances, of course, as always, across the higher terrain here, and of course, some of this would be in the form of thunderstorm activity. This is San Francisco. It is San Francisco here. Check it out. Just kind of bumping around. Nice, comfortable temperatures out there. A couple, a little bit above average days here as we go through Sunday and Monday, and then maybe that trough kind of hanging around here. Here's Redding, California. You can see the trough and then maybe the warm up there. Nothing too crazy. Sacramento, something similar here. A couple more warm days to go, however. This was Las Vegas, hanging around average here a little bit, not too bad here. Sunday and Monday, then, right around seasonable temperatures here for this time of year. Phoenix, Sky Harbor, I already showed that one. We're going to move right on here to August 1st through 5th. You can kind of see where the warmth has been the past few days here across Texas, off into southern Arizona, and you can kind of see the suppression of temperatures across Nevada and Utah here, and nice and chilly there on the northwest, at least relatively speaking. And this is the entire year, January 1st through August 5th, big yin and yang between the east and the west here, as you can see. A little bit below average here across much of the west. Now, this is looking at July 1st, the El Nino plume. So as you get towards 1.5, you get towards strong El Nino. The Europeans have been saying we've been headed towards the potential strong El Nino coming up here, and we've got new data today. So this is July 1st. Let's go ahead and see what August says. And There we go. Even a little bit of an uptick there. So basically all the ensembles are calling for at least some portion of our time during the fall and early winter months here to be in strong El Nino territory. And it's not giving up on a very strong El Nino coming up here, potentially a super El Nino in some of these ensemble runs here. It doesn't mean much right now. When we break these down towards individual systems here as we get towards the fall and the winter, we will be prepared for anything that does come. So it's not too helpful to get caught up in just how strong the El Nino is going to be, at least for what impacts you can expect in your certain location. And anyway, yeah, here we go. Tropical storm Eugene down here should be a hurricane briefly, and then it's going to start its trek northward. It's going to be an interesting trek here. See how much moisture it can bring up across the region. What kind of thunderstorm activity are we going to get? That can be the cause for some interesting weather here across Southern California, as you see in those daily briefings I show you about the day in history here. A lot of that is because of old tropical systems that try to move up here. Of course, they're not going to be a hurricane or a tropical storm or anything like that, and you're not going to get the severe winds or anything, but the slug of moisture can bring some interesting weather with it. So anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll watch this system closely, move it up towards the area here, and we'll watch that extended forecast for the possible heat ridge to be building across some of the southwest here. And yeah, we'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.